The Insta360 Mic Air is now compatible with the X4, which is great news for Insta360 X4 owners. Well, it's good news for X4 owners. Well, it's news. How good? Let's find out. A few months ago, when Insta360 launched the X5, they also announced a brand new dedicated wireless microphone for Insta360 cameras, the Mic Air. Now initially, the Mic Air was only compatible with the X5 and Ace Pro 2, but now thanks to a recent firmware update, it's also compatible with the X4. Now, it's important to note that that compatibility does not extend to the Mic Air USB receiver, which is unfortunate because that provides better range, better stability, and the ability to operate two transmitters at the same time. When it comes to the X4, compatibility is limited to a single transmitter connected to the X4 by Bluetooth. So today we're going to be checking out exactly that combination. Now, I'm not going to do a full unboxing and overview of the Mic Air itself. If you check out the channel, you'll find many videos about the Mic Air, including this one, which covers all of those details. As far as today's video is concerned, we're going to look at how to connect up and operate the Mic Air together with your X4, and of course we'll do some performance testing to see how well this combination performs. So that means there's a lot to cover, so as usual I'll place the chapters up here and on the video timeline, but first this. Before we continue with today's video, a quick disclaimer. This video is not sponsored, paid for, or influenced in any way. I purchased all of the equipment with my own money, and the opinions are entirely my own. Now, I do include links to the featured products as well as my recording equipment. These may appear throughout the video and in the video description. If you purchase using these links, I may make a commission, and this is what helps fund the channel, but rest assured there is no price disadvantage to you. You are getting the best price I can find. Alternatively, if you want to support the channel, you could follow this link and buy me a coffee. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, please remember to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel for a lot more similar content. So back to the video. So before we can connect our X4 to the Mic Air, the first thing we need to do is make sure that both devices are updated to the newest firmware version. And that of course is done using the Insta360 app. So let's start out with our X4. As you can see, I have it powered on. Let's go ahead and launch the Insta360 app and connect to our X4. As you can see, once connected, the app tells me there is a new firmware version available, version 1920, which includes support for the Mic Air. So let's go ahead and hit the update firmware button. And as you can see, we are successfully updated to the newest version. You can also check the version of your X4 at any time by tapping the Me icon at the bottom right. You'll see the information about the connected device, including the firmware version 1920. Tapping on it brings you to the firmware version screen, where you can also enable firmware cache to automatically download any firmware updates in the background as soon as they're available. Next, we're going to update the Mic Air to the newest firmware version, and once again we're going to do that using the Insta360 app. The way it works is we first have to place our Mic Air into pairing mode. The way we do that is with the Mic Air powered off, we're going to press and hold the power button for at least 6 seconds. As you can see, the LED begins flashing blue rapidly, indicating that it is in pairing mode. Then we launch the Insta360 app. And at the bottom right, we're going to tap on the Me icon. Scroll down until we get to Device Settings. And under Device Settings, you will see Accessory Settings. As you can see, because the mic air is in pairing mode, it searches and finds the mic air. So we tap on that. And if there is a new firmware version available, it will show up here. And once again, it's just a case of following the prompts to complete the update. So now that we have ensured that both the X4 and mic air are on the newest firmware versions, now we can connect them. So on the X4, if I go into the settings menu, scroll over one page here, you will see an AirPods icon that we will use to connect a Bluetooth microphone. But before we tap on that, I'm going to once again place the mic air into its pairing mode. Again, from the power off state, we're going to hold down the button for 6 seconds. Until the LED begins flashing rapidly blue, and then we're going to initiate our search. And as you can see, it has found the mic air, and now we are connected. You can also see that the LED on the mic air is now solid blue, also indicating that it is connected. Here you can see some basic information about using the mic air, all of which we'll cover in the next section. If we head back out to our main preview screen, you can see the AirPods icon at the top right, and you can also see the audio level bar showing that an external microphone is connected. Now, once these two have been paired, they will remember the connection. So for example, if I power off my mic air, you'll notice that it is now disconnected, and the X4 will now be using its onboard microphones. But as soon as I power on the mic air again, it immediately reconnects. However, note that if I power off the camera, when I power it back on again, the mic air will reconnect, but it does take some time. Unfortunately, that means this delay is also present when using quick capture. If I power off the camera and I use the record button to power on the camera and immediately start recording, it does so using the onboard microphones. But when the mic air finally does connect, the audio will be from the mic air. Now, if you have the Bluetooth wake up function enabled on your X4, having paired the mic air with my X4, anytime the mic air is powered on, it will automatically wake up the X4, and after a short delay it will connect. However, note that if for any reason you remove the battery on your X4, whether it's to exchange the battery or access the memory card, the next time you try to wake it up using the mic air, you will find the Bluetooth wake up feature does not work. However, the connection is still there. All you need to do is manually power on your X4, and once the two are connected, the Bluetooth wake up will work as usual. When it comes to operating your X4 together with the mic air, there are a few things you can do. If we go into the menu again, scroll over to the AirPods icon, you will see the connected mic air here. Tap on the 3 dots next to it, and as you can see, you can enable or disable noise reduction. When I enable it, you'll notice that the LED turns green, and when I disable it, you'll notice it goes back to blue. Also, if you find the indicator light on the microphone to be distracting, you can also disable it here. Also on this page, you will find a battery level indicator for the mic air. Unfortunately, it's not very clear. It's this tiny little icon up here, but it is there nevertheless. There does not seem to be any gain adjustment setting for the Mic Air. If you go into the menu, into settings, you will find an external mic gain setting, but this applies only to a microphone plugged in through the USB port. Using the mic itself, there is some control capability. A single press will start the recording, and another press will stop recording. A double press will enable noise cancellation. You can see the LED turns green, and of course another double press will turn it off again. A triple press will mute the microphone. You can see that the LED turns red, and now there is no audio level shown. And another triple press will unmute the microphone again. And in case you were wondering, yes, it is possible to connect a Bluetooth remote and the Mic Air at the same time. Here you can see I have both icons shown on the screen. I can start the recording using my mini remote. I can stop the recording using my Mic Air, and you can clearly see the audio level at the top of the screen. Okay, time to do some testing, and we're going to start out with a basic indoor audio quality test, and starting with the onboard microphones of the X4. Now, in most situations, I find that the onboard microphones do a pretty good job as long as you remain close to the camera, of course. So let's go ahead and fire up the Mic Air and see how it compares. Now, one other thing about the newest firmware version is, in addition to supporting the Mic Air, it also allows the hot swapping of microphones during an active recording. So all I have to do is power on the Mic Air. It connects to the X4, and now the sound you're hearing is from the Mic Air. So how is the audio quality from the Mic Air? How does it compare to the audio quality of the onboard microphones of the X4? Okay, so much for our basic indoor audio quality test. Let's take this outdoors and do some additional testing. Okay, let's continue our testing now outdoors, and once again we're going to start out with the onboard microphones of the X4. As long as I remain pretty close to the camera, the onboard microphones generally do a very good job. Let's go ahead and power on the Mic Air and connect it and see how it compares. Okay, now I have switched over to using the Mic Air connected by Bluetooth. How is the audio quality? How does it compare to the onboard microphones? Obviously, with this being a wireless microphone, means I can move around freely, I can turn around, and at this very short distance you should have no problem hearing me okay. Now, as far as audio quality is concerned, I've not had any issues with the Mic Air. The audio quality is pretty decent. Where I have had issues is in terms of its range and stability. Although Insta360 says that in this configuration you should be able to use it at a distance of at least 30 meters, I found that you get significant signal dropouts and even complete signal loss when encountering any obstructions beyond around about 10 to 15 meters. So let's see how it performs with the X4. So now I'm about 10 meters away from the camera, still well within the specified operating range. As long as I maintain line of sight, this should be no issue. But let's see what happens if I turn around, turn my back. Now I can just about see the screen at this distance, and I see messages popping up, which I assume must be it losing the connection to the Mic Air, but I guess I'll find out when I get back into the studio and do some editing. But in the meantime, let's see what happens if I go a little bit further. Okay, let's try one more test to see if we can get to 30 meters. So, yeah, not great. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that I have not been particularly impressed so far with the Mic Air, and I have to say the combination with the X4 is probably the worst performance so far. I mean, the whole point of having a wireless microphone is that it allows you to move freely away from the camera and still get high quality audio. And this combination really does not deliver that in a reliable way. You saw during the testing that the slightest obstruction, even at fairly close distance, caused disruptions on the audio, and if you were to venture more than about 10 meters away from the camera, any obstruction is likely to leave you without any audio at all for long segments of your video. Now, on the plus side, I will say, as I have said in previous videos, that the audio quality is better than a standard Bluetooth microphone, and it may work well in certain situations, but you'll have to make sure you stay fairly close to the camera and try your best to avoid any obstructions. So that wraps it up for another video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for a lot more similar content. If you have any questions, any comments, if you want to share your experience or make suggestions for future videos, please drop those into the comments section. Otherwise, thanks again for watching.